Now, it's the US President Donald Trump who addressed the United Nations General Assembly. Now, he is addressing at a time when there is massive strain. What we are seeing happening in Gaza, we are seeing happening in Ukraine, there is the trade talk that's happening globally, and there are various other flashpoints also. In his address, Donald Trump accused India and China of being the primary funders of the war that Ukraine has against Russia. Also said that it is because of the continued purchase of Russian oil that a ceasefire is not happening between Ukraine and Russia. The US president also blasted the European nations and the NATO allies for fighting Russia but failing to cut off Russian energy purchases. He reiterated that he's now ended 7 unendable wars, including India-Pakistan conflict, spoke about the desire that he now wants peace globally, and also touched upon the global peace prize. He claimed that he is single-handedly engaging in peacemaking efforts and dealing with world leaders because it's the United Nations that is offering no help. Donald Trump slammed UN while addressing the US session, saying that this organization has offered nothing but just empty words.
China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products, which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures. And Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them, and it was very embarrassing to them when I found out about it, I can tell you that. They have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time.
My colleague Pranay Upadhyay is now joining me on the story. Pranay, it seems like this has become a case when you're entering someone's house and immediately after you enter the house, you start bashing the same person. Now, we are seeing it's the US President Donald Trump speaking at the UNGA and speaking about the fact that all that the United Nations has done is to offer empty promises.
Definitely, Aishwarya. But if you see the trajectory and the history of President Donald Trump's opinion about the United Nations, he has always held a critical opinion about the United Nations. In fact, post-COVID, many world leaders feel that, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that UN has failed to deliver on its promises, and this organization, which is a very esteemed organization, but that it needs it needs reforms and much overdue reforms. But if you see President Donald Trump's speech at the United Nations General Assembly, which was a record speech by any US president. But when he stood on the podium of the United Nations, he came there with his own experiences and his own opinion about the world vision. But his personal opinion about the United Nations, right from the bad escalator to the non-functioning teleprompter to the history of the UN building, where he was primarily engaged and involved as a real estate developer, but he couldn't get the contract, and someone else got the contract. So definitely there is a history of his opinion about the United Nations as an organization. But definitely he came there with his own world vision, where he not only held other countries responsible for not doing anything to stop the Russia-Ukraine war, how he is the only one who is helping to stop the different wars and conflict, while the United Nations is not acknowledging that his contribution. Rather, he is not getting the appreciation